A very good afternoon to all the students and a warm welcome to one and all present today for the online lecture of second year BBA semester 3 for the subject Human Resource Management. Now students, you have been attending number of lectures from quite a while now, and you already know that we have been discussing number of topics pertaining to the first unit that talks on human resource management. Coming to the contents, we have been covering in the previous lectures all about human resource management, all about human resource development, and in the previous few lectures, we have started the discussion on the changing environment of human resource management. In the purview of the changing environment of human resource management, in the previous lectures, I had discussed with you the first one, that is to say globalization. The second, that is to say technological advances. I had also revised both of them in the previous lecture as well. Students, in the last lecture, I had discussed with the workforce diversity as to how it has brought a change in the environment of human resource management. And students, the focus for today's lecture shall be to talk all about corporate downsizing as a changing environment in human resource management. So we have come down to the fourth topic pertaining to the changing environment of human resource management. Students, I shall spend some time on revising the previous lecture's topic, that is to say workforce diversity, and thereby we quickly begin with the new topic of the day, that is to say corporate downsizing. As you can see, we had discussed the first one, meaning to say globalization, and how globalization has brought a change in the environment of human resource management. We discussed how the world became a global village and how the competition increased, for which the skills and the other HR functions had to be globalized. The human beings were treated as a competitive asset, and thereby their skills, capabilities had to be developed, because it was only then one could have achieved a competitive edge. We discussed the impact of globalization. I'm not going much in detail because we have revised the same in the previous lecture. I showed you how globalization has increased as well as reduced the employment opportunities in few sectors. It has affected human resource development, that is to say, increasing the skills of employees, has affected compensation as well, impact on the trade unions, and also the other effects pertaining to human resource. Number two, we discussed and revised the technological advances, that is to say, how the change in technology has brought a change in the pattern of human resource management, how employees had to be trained, their skills have to be developed so that they can make use and adapt to the new technology, how change in technology has brought about innovations, helps in proper decision making, has also brought a change in the pattern of work done by the employees. So I hope that you remember both the topics we had revised in the previous lecture. Students, in the previous lecture, I had discussed with a new topic under the purview of changing environment of human resource management, that was the workforce diversity. I explained to you how the workforce or how the human resources employed in an organization are diverse, meaning to say they are different from each other in some or the other matter. Could be the age, could be the gender, could be the educational qualifications that they possess, could be the different skills and talents that they hold, but the workforce that is employed in an organization is quite diverse. You would not find people having the same skills and having the same abilities. They are diverse, they are different from each other in some or the other matter. So we discussed all about the meaning of workforce diversity. I explained you the different bases on which workforce is considered diverse, and I also explained you its impact on human resource management, how workforce diversity becomes a challenge as well as an opportunity for the HR professionals. So students, I had explained to you the meaning of workforce diversity. That is to say how the employees differ from each other in number of terms that I shall be showing you again. The organizations have become quite heterogeneous. They are not homogeneous. I had shown you different types of workforce diversity. The workforce could be diverse based on several reasons. We discussed the impact of diversity, that is to say, offering both opportunities as well as challenges for the organization. So, on one hand, workforce diversity was giving opportunities because you have a diverse workforce having diverse skills, capabilities. So definitely, when you have a diverse workforce, it gives you more scope for creativity and innovation as well, thereby leading you to achieve a competitive edge. But on the other hand, if I talk about the challenge, when you have a diverse workforce who are different from each other in whatever means, there would always be a chance of difference of opinion, thereby also resulting into number of causes of conflicts among them. It would be very difficult to come all of them to a common point or a common decision. So even that becomes a challenge for the human resource professionals. They have to manage the workforce which is diverse from each other. But talking about the opportunity, it has proved to be a competitive advantage because you have qualified employees coming from diverse backgrounds. They understand the different market segments better because they come from those segments altogether, and thereby they are much more creative and innovative. Well, if I talk about the challenge, definitely it becomes a source of conflict. You have people coming from different backgrounds, so they may always have a source of conflict arising where they feel that some sort of bias or prejudice has been created because of the diverse that they come from. So another source of conflict would be the misunderstood interactions among the people. We also studied its implications for human resource management as to how the diverse workforce brings about some change in the practice of human resource management. May it be increasing number of women in the workforce or the workforce that is aging in its nature, or even some sort of discriminations based on gender needs to be eliminated. We discussed how, along with aging workforce, even the youth had to be attracted because, on one hand, when the aging workforce has full of experience, even the youth is filled with zeal and enthusiasm, so they have to be attracted as well. You need to have a decentralized and a plural system, thereby giving such a quality of work life that both work life and personal life can be balanced, also helping them solve their grievances, their complaints. And we had summed up the discussion on the workforce diversity by concluding that one needs to have and create a truly cultural organization. No matter all the members are coming from diverse cultural or social groups, but they all can be involved in shaping the mission, policies, and the programs of the enterprise. You may be having different people coming from different backgrounds and different diversities, but they all have to move in the same direction of achieving the organizational goals. And when you want to remove that sort of misunderstanding or difference of opinion or any sort of conflict, enable and encourage more of open communication between them. And thereby the feedback that is obtained from them could again help in formulating number of strategies, policies, and programs. So students, I hope that under the question of changing environment of human resource management, you are very well clear with number one, globalization, number two, technological advances, and number three, workforce diversity. On this note, we begin with the fourth aspect under the purview of changing environment of human resource management that talks all about corporate downsizing. Now, I don't know if you are familiar with the term downsizing, but basically, if I explain you in simple terms, corporate downsizing means when a company or when an organization is trying to reduce the size of the organization. When I say reducing the size of organization, it may be trying to cut down some of the branches of the organization, some of the extra departments that may have been established in the organization, some extra product line that may have been started, that indirectly results in removing some sort of staff or some of the employees who are working in an organization. So by corporate, we mean to say a company, an organization, but by downsizing, we mean to say when the same company, the same organization is resulting in reducing the size of the organization, and therefore the name downsizing. It is basically cutting down on the jobs, cutting down on the size of organization, thereby releasing some of the employees who are already working in the organization. Now, you would feel, why would a company entertain corporate downsizing? When would it feel to go for reducing the size of organization? So it may happen that the company is suffering from a situation of disguised unemployment, that is to say, overstaffing. It may be having employees who are much more in number than what is actually required. And thereby, when you entertain overstaffing or when you have number of employees more than what is required, it is definitely going to increase your cost burden. And if you are not good enough financially to surpass that burden, you need to downsize, you need to cut down those jobs and remove those many number of employees. It may be that the organization is suffering losses and cannot undertake more branches or cannot undertake more expansion. It tends to cut down the size of the organization. So it is nothing but corporate downsizing. Let me explain you the meaning of it once again. So downsizing means reducing the size of organization. As I said, very simple to understand. When the organization is basically reducing the size, it is downsizing. For example, if an organization is having 4 of its branches situated at some or the other place, or maybe it is going for 4 different product lines, due to overstaffing or due to incurred losses, it may try to reduce the size by removing one of the branch or by removing one of the product line that it has been working upon. So it leads to a planned elimination of positions and jobs. So it is not an unplanned activity, definitely. It is a planned elimination where you are removing some of the positions, you are removing some of the jobs. Because when an organization is cutting down its size, definitely you would have people working and that part of organization. So when that size is only reduced, even the jobs would be cut down. The people would also be removed from those jobs. So it is a restructuring process in which the organization disposes of its non-core activities. Basically, the size that is reduced is of, or the activities that have been eliminated are those activities which are non-core. They are not much productive. As I said, maybe the company is incurring huge amount of losses or it is completely a waste. That is why those activities are disposed of. These are completely non-core or unproductive activities that have to be removed. But whatever the case may be, it will result even in the reduction of the number of employees working and thereby posing a challenge for human resource management. Secondly, in the context of human resource management, downsizing involves elimination of certain jobs with a view to improve work efficiency. As I said, you are basically eliminating on certain jobs, those jobs which are not helping you reap profits, which are not basically productive. You tend to remove them and thereby it increases your work efficiency. In simple words, I can say that those jobs or those activities where your cost is actually going higher than the benefits you are reaping from it, you tend to downsize those activities, you tend to eliminate those jobs. So ultimately, the work efficiency will be improved. The organization reduces the staff which is in excess of its needs. When it gets into a situation of overstaffing, it would tend to reduce the staff if it is more than what is required. As a result, some of the employees get separated from the organization. So simple to say, downsizing would be cutting down on the size of organization, reducing the size of organization by eliminating certain jobs, and thereby leads to reduction in the staff as well. In a simple diagram, you can see how does the corporate downsizing take place. Students, moving ahead, I would be explaining you the rationale, that is to say the different reasons why would corporate downsizing occur. Why would an organization lead to cutting down on its jobs or reducing its size? I also explained you a few of the reasons earlier, that it may happen that the efficiency of the organization is getting reduced, it is incurring losses, it is not able to bear the financial burden of employment, and thereby result into reduction of the employees. It may happen that it already is leading to overstaffing. The employees employed are quite more than the need of it, resulting into disguised employment, whereby the number of employees are more, but the productivity is not more. Also, it may happen that the activities are unproductive, they are non-core, thereby it would also result into reducing the size of the organization. So let us see few of the other reasons. So downsizing becomes necessary due to the following reasons, as you can see. Number one, an organization might suffer from overstaffing due to faulty human resource planning. So students, what do you mean by human resource planning? Human resource planning is basically you have to estimate how many employees are required. You have to estimate how many are actually available in the organization. You have to identify the gap between the two, and you have to make the necessary recruitments. For example, if you have 10 employees, but the organization is in need of 12 employees, then you come to a conclusion that two more employees have to be recruited. But when a situation of defective planning takes place, when the planning is defective, it was faulty, it results to overstaffing, where you have more number of employees than what is actually required. Definitely the organization will have to go for downsizing, reducing the size of the employees, because by employing more number of people, if it is not leading to increased productivity, it is only leading to increased burden on the organization, because ultimately fixed salaries will have to be paid to the employees who are working in your organization. Number two, a change in the man machine ratio may occur due to technological advances. Now, this you would be able to understand better because we have studied technological advances in the previous two lectures. When there is a change in technology, when there is a technological advancement, you tend to adapt to new technology, new methods, maybe new machines as well. When the things become quite automatized and when the things are done mechanically, you definitely require less number of people working for the same. You have a machine which is working, you need only few people who can operate the machine, or you want only few skilled employees who know how to adapt to the new technology. So when such a change takes place in the man-machine ratio, where more machines are used rather than the people working manually, it will tend to create corporate downsizing. And number three, an organization may also start outsourcing some of its business functions. Now, what do you mean by outsourcing? It would happen that some activities which were performed earlier by the organization itself, by the people working in the organization, are now outsourced. They are done by people outside the organization. They are handed over to people outside the organization who would perform the task and submit it to the company, for which again you don't require employees in your organization. So it results to reducing the size and reducing the number of employees working in the organization. So people employed in these functions become surplus. Those activities which were earlier done by employees in your organization, if now it gets outsourced, if now it is done by the outsiders, of course the employees working earlier will be of no use and they would have to be released by the organization. So I hope that you understood the different reasons which are necessary for downsizing to occur. Could be oversizing, could be change in the man machine ratio, and could be outsourcing as well. Coming to the pitfalls, coming to the, I can say, downfalls, the limitations of corporate downsizing, or what challenges does the human resource professionals face through it. So let us understand them, because of course corporate downsizing is not something positive on the part of employees. It will have some sort of drawbacks involved. So downsizing may, however, lead to the following adverse consequences. Of course, we are talking about the consequences on the part of employees and thereby indirectly affecting the organization as well. So, number one, downsizing may create a feeling of insecurity. The employees always feel insecure that they may lose their job in the near future. And when they are working with such an insecurity in their mind, it will cause low morale. They are not motivated to work more, high stress among the employees. They are always working under stress. They are completely demotivated to work because they are always insecure about their job. Employees may feel that they are paying the price for the mismanagement. They would feel that because the management is not managed properly, it is because of their fault that employees are suffering. So, a feeling of insecurity creeps in the mind of employees. Secondly, when competent employees leave the organization, downsizing may erode the skill base. Definitely, when you are undertaking downsizing, but due to that downsizing, sometimes even those employees who are quite skilled, who are quite capable to work, also tend to leave the organization. It is completely a situation of brain drain for the organization, erodes the skill base. That was not required, and that is again a limitation of downsizing. Thirdly, implementation of performance improvement practices become difficult due to a feeling of job insecurity created by downsizing. As I said, employees feel insecure, so even to enable improve the performance again becomes very difficult. They already are demotivated, they are having a low morale, they are working under stress of maybe losing the job. The performance would never be enhanced or improved a lot. So students, these are the different consequences, adverse consequences of corporate downsizing onto the employees and the organization at large. Lastly, now we come on to the topic where we would see how downsizing becomes a challenge for the human resource managers and what role should the human resource manager perform under corporate downsizing. So, human resource personals will have to perform the following functions for successful implementation of downsizing, because downsizing is something which may have to be occurred. There is no scope of not having downsizing, but in case you want to successfully implement the same, few of the functions you have to perform, such as before undergoing downsizing, some alternatives must be tried. It could be work sharing, that is to share the work amongst different people. It could be downgrading, where at least you can keep the employees employed in your organization but at a lower post. So, by grading them to a downwards position, you can still keep them employed, or redeployment, where you are again keeping them to some new places, some new positions, giving them some new work. So, at least before you undergo downsizing, before you completely reduce the employees, try with some of the other alternatives. And if it proves successful, maybe downsizing could be saved as well. Secondly, because we see that the employees are quite insecure with the feeling of downsizing, they work under stress that they may be released by the organization, have proper communication. If you have a good communication, it will definitely minimize the negative effects of rumors. The individuals, the employees should at least be informed about the factual data. They should be known about what actually is happening or will happen in near future. Otherwise, just based on rumors, the employees would be working under stress and they won't be giving their 100%. So have and enable proper communication with them. Number three, if you want to sell the idea of downsizing to the employees, then HR professionals have to convince the trade unions and win their support for downsizing. In case you are planning for downsizing, keep the trade unions under confidence because they are the ones through whom the employees represent their complaints. So, in case the trade union is satisfied with the concept, with the idea of downsizing, maybe the employees won't revolt against it. And lastly, HR managers must also deal with the actual layoff. They must have programs to assist the laid off employees. If you have to undergo corporate downsizing, if you have laid down, you have released some of the employees, at least have some programs for their betterment in future as well, because they wouldn't be getting the jobs very easily once they are released by the organization. So, when informed about the layoff, they may face many uncertainties. Could be service pay, could be the retirement benefits, could be search for alternative job. They may not be getting jobs easily, transition assistance. So, these uncertainties need to be anticipated and taken care of. So when you are undergoing layoff of employees, you are releasing the employees, at least try to help them out for some period of time where they can meet with these uncertainties better. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for an employee who has been released by the organization. There would be number of uncertainties which he would have to face and suffer in future. So the HR managers can basically have some programs which would help out these employees for a specific period of time. So students, I hope you understood the meaning of corporate downsizing. We understood the reasons why downsizing has to be undertaken, some of its adverse consequences, and thereby what role can HR perform in downsizing. Lastly, to sum up the decision, I can say that when an organization wants to go for corporate downsizing, at least it should first enable right sizing. That is to say, having organizations' human resource aligned to the overall strategy, goals, and the financial resources. You should be able to know as to how many and what employees are required to achieve the organizational goals, because after all, the intention is to become more competitive by redesigning the organizational structure and redefining both the line and the staff positions to focus on the most important activities and processes. You need to redesign your organizational structure. You need to have sufficient employees working for your goals, but some companies eliminate numerous positions without first determining which and how many are needed to accomplish what tasks for organizational performance. And this is the reason which results to wrong sizing, that is to say, the loss of key positions and personnel. When you do downsizing in an unplanned manner, you keep on eliminating the positions without actually determining who is needed by the organization and who shall perform what tasks. Definitely, you would indulge into wrong sizing and you would lose some of the key positions, key personals who are very much critical for the organization's success. They were these people on whose shoulders the performance of organization was dependent. But in case without planning, if you undertake downsizing, you would actually result into wrong sizing. So whenever an organization indulges into corporate downsizing, they should undergo to a right sizing and not a wrong sizing. So students, I hope that you understood the topic for today. A quick recap, you can have a look at all what we have studied. We are studying the changing environment in human resource management, where we have studied the fourth aspect today, meaning to say corporate downsizing. We have understood the meaning of it. We have understood the reasons why downsizing becomes necessary. We have understood the different pitfalls, the different adverse consequences of the same, and thereby we discuss the role of HR2 in undertaking a correct downsizing. So students, I hope that you understood the topic for today. In case you have any doubts, feel free to ask them in the Google Classroom and I shall be answering to them at the earliest. Secondly, students, I have also shared with you the notes of one part of the first unit. That is to say, whatever we have discussed up till now, the notes have been shared in the Google Classroom. I hope that you have already started reading the same, because in the next week we shall be holding a quiz for sure in one of our lectures, and that shall be informed you well in advance in Google Classroom itself. So do read the notes so that you can attempt the quiz very correctly. Until then, thank you so much for the day, students, and happy learning.